but I wouldn't be starting him as a wide receiver 1 or 2, even though he's the number 1 on his team. So I think he's a catfish in that sense. I wouldn't be trusting in him the way I don't think many people are, but I know some people out there like, all right, I'm going to throw Corey Davis out there every week, start him every single week. He's not an every week start. He's a catfish. He's going to let you down. I think he had, 2 big games? Two respectable games?
First and second week.
Had one big game. I say 2 respectable games.
Yeah, so I'm calling him catfish now because I just don't think there's going to be this big turnaround in the Tennessee season because their lack of a running game.
I think if you're in a 12-man league and it's a PPR, and that's points per reception, he's somebody I probably will hold on to. Because in the 12-man league, he did 12 points against Miami week 1, 10.5 against Houston in week 2. Didn't do really shit for Jacksonville, but again, that's Jacksonville. He put up 5 points, and then for Philly, he busted him out for 31. Buffalo last week, he did 8.9 points.
Ooh,
I think that
you want somebody whole league 89.9.
Right, he had an outstanding game.
Yeah.
Broke a lot of records.
Right.
But nah, man, he I think if you're in a PPR and it's a deep league, I will hold on to him. But I do agree with you about being a catfish. Is he gonna do another 31 point whatever points? No. I personally don't think so.
Not no time soon.
I would say, you know what? I would eat my words. Not another game this season is he going to put up 30 plus points.
Hell, nope.
I'm willing to say that. And I say that for a few reasons. You're right about their offensive line. And then, 2, I still think I get that he's the number 1 receiver, but I really think Delaney Walker's really the number 1 receiver. Exactly. If you're talking about in terms of targets.
Right. And I mean, their schedule, who they facing, like it's not really getting too many easier. I say down the line they got Indianapolis, possibly the Jets, maybe where they're gonna have, decent games. Everywhere else, you're gonna be facing either mid-tier or top-tier cornerbacks in the rest of their games.
No, I agree. You got Baltimore this week. You got the Chargers next week. They got a bye week 8. They're coming back with Dallas, New England, and then you got the Jets, Jacksonville, the Colts. And the Colts isn't the Colts from last year either.
No, I mean, they're better than you think.
Yeah, and I thought, and again, that's what I hate about the start of the season when you filling out teams and you can't play a team based on their performance they did the year before. Okay. And I made that mistake of doing that. I played a receiver because he was playing the Colts, and he didn't perform the way I thought he was going to play. Man. And then when I actually looked at it, like, they actually upped their secondary in the offseason.
Yeah.
So,
like, if Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady, they might not have. They probably still would have won. But the catches, like Josh Gordon and Tom Brady to Josh Gordon, that's something that, okay, they got that off on Indianapolis. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen with everybody. Like their defense has stepped up. Their cornerbacks have stepped up. So yeah, Corey Davis definitely a catfish for me. But you're right. I wouldn't drop him necessarily because in PPR he has some value.
But he was a bust last year too.
Yeah, he was, and that's another thing. He's starting to build this history of not performing, and Mariota building his history of not performing as well. It's two things that ain't. They're supposed to be like the new tandem. They're supposed to be Amari Cooper and Derek Carr, and that ain't even working out. So,
but you know what? I look at Marcus Mariota as an Alex Smith that can run.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's the tight end in the way that they run their offense. The tight end is going to actually produce big because he's more of a conservative and check down type of quarterback when it comes to the pass. Now he'll take off on you with his legs, but I think that's another reason why Corey Davis haven't been performing the way that we felt like he should. So, I mean, the past few years, at least since Mariota's been there, in terms of targets, Delaney Walker's been their number 1 receiver.
And may I add, I had Walker, but he got injured. That's another reason why I'm losing. Just to note that. Side note.
All his players get injured every
Side
year.
note.
Every single year, all his players get injured. It's fine.
Hey, listen.
Maybe it's
Losers make excuses. Champions make moves, baby.
Ooh.
I had some injuries too. I ain't gonna lie. Your boy had injuries too, but you know what I did? I made moves.
But it's like you said, I'm in a 12-man lead. Ain't nobody out there to pick.
It's scraping. You scraping. Yeah. But you gotta out. This is a mental game, okay? This is way more mental than people realize. Like, you gotta play the people in your league, not just the players in the league. Like, it's a lot to it. I done did some things. I done moved some stuff around. We gonna learn you though. We gonna learn you. Anybody? Okay. What else we got for catfish players out there?
I got Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed, tight end from Washington, huh?
Yeah.
You think he catfish?
Oh, definitely.
I'm only laughing because I played against him last week, and I was like, I knew that was going to happen.
He's just an up and down player. Like, you don't know what you're going to get with him.
Yeah, this is true. But I will say, you got Alex Smith throwing to him, right?
Yeah, Alex Smith.
Alex Smith knows how to use his tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So on the outset, you would think he's going to have a decent game. I honestly don't know what's wrong with Washington. I'm not sure exactly why it's not panning out the way it should. Or Alex Smith isn't having better games than Jordan. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I can understand you wanting him to be catfish. I can halfway agree with you, and I halfway agree that he's not, because he should become something based on the quarterback he has, the way the team wants to run, which is why they brought Alex Smith. They thought he'll go upfield more, even though Alex Smith is known as the game manager. But over the last couple of years, they've been trying to push him to throw the ball and stuff, and I think that's why Washington was okay with taking him when they lost Cousins. So I don't necessarily think he's all the way catfish. I can understand. He's like a 50-50. He's straddling the line for me right now.
Like, that made New Orleans defense look like they were really good when they weren't.
True.
I'm gonna agree with Team Money on this. I do think Jordan Reed is a catfish so far. I don't think you drop him because it's still Jordan Reed. So if you want to get rid of him, I would personally trade him, which is what I'm considering. Right. I got Zach Ertz, and I'm not taking him out into his bye week. And I'm thinking after the bye week, I'm gonna just go ahead and trade him.
Yeah. Oh.
And you'll get something based on the name. It's Jordan Reed, so you'll walk away with something.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude's definitely a catfish. And honestly, I made this not really off of points, but off of play.
Go ahead. What you mean by that?
All right. So what I mean by off of play is I actually been watching a lot of Redskin games, mostly because I have him on my bench and I wanted to see how he was balling. I think that last blowout against New Orleans, majority of it was the defense and and Alex Smith's play. But watching him actually play, him and Alex Smith doesn't have that. They don't have that chemistry that I thought that they would have actually had at the time when I was drafting them. So given that blowout, so you think about this. You got Washington trying to hurry up and score, right? I think they were down 2 touchdowns after halftime. And then New Orleans went up 3 touchdowns. So now Washington is planning on flinging it. And for the most part, they tried, but he still didn't get that many targets. And that's what kind of made me like, okay, well, it's something that's going on with their chemistry. And if you play with anybody that play football, you know some QBs you just mesh with better than others. And I think they may eventually find their chemistry. I mean, I hope they do. But as of right now, I'm listing your boy as a catfish.
Definitely.
Just based off performance.
Because just like you were saying, he had Kelsey and he was slinging it to him all the time. So I don't see what the problem is here. He has almost the same caliber as him, so he should have got some catches, or he should be getting catches.
It's not me, it's you. It's not Alex. It's Jordan.
And then it's the amount of targets that he's getting too is what really kind of bothers me a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
but when you think he'll get the most, because who do they have on their team that they could depend on more than him?
Exactly, and that's what.
It's what boggles the mind.
Right. On paper, this was a good draft for me. This was a good draft pick for me. And when I went back and I looked at my personal team and I was like, damn, I got Zach Ertz and Jordan Reed. I'm good.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, and this is at the end of the day, this is why they play the game. I don't know, dog. I don't know what the mix-up is.
Nah,
so
neither. I don't know. I feel you.
I
leaning.
agree with T Money. Yeah. Long story short, I agree with T Money. Jordan Reed's a catfish.
I'm still leaning 50-50 because somebody got to do something over there, and I feel like it should be him before anybody else. So I'm leaning both ways. I can understand it. And to play it safe, I probably would catfish him out before trying to hold on to him in the back pocket. I put it like that. But all right, so we got any other catfish you want to talk on? Somebody that definitely is tricking y'all. I'm gonna talk.
That's all
I'm gonna call Sammy Watkins a catfish. You ain't gonna like that. People ain't gonna like that.
No, that nigga been a catfish.
No, he been a catfish, but this year they're trying to change the narrative as if something is changing, and I don't believe it. They're trying to change it as if he's about to become. I don't know what they think he's going to become.
How? He was in Buffalo. He didn't do shit.
No,
he was with the high power Rams. He didn't do shit.
And now he's with KC. High powered. They're putting up points. How many points he putting up? He's saving people games out here?
Hell no.
I don't
he probably
think
had
so.
one good game.
I don't think so. He had two decent games. One against Pittsburgh. One against San Francisco. And that's about it so far. He had 13 points on Jacksonville. It's just when they played Denver.
He's supposed to be the number one wide receiver, right?
Well, Tyreek Hill.
Well, he's getting paid more than Tyreek Hill.
Sammy Watkins is getting paid more than Tyreek Hill.
He got like 80 or 70 million?
That's crazy. Do you hear this? Did you hear this?
I hear it, and he right though. Like, bruh. Honestly, I feel like the only team that Sammy Watkins should be on right now is if his mama has a fantasy team.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I think if she has a fantasy team, she probably know football, so she probably ain't even got him on this team.
No, I feel you. That's why I like you big ass catfish. I don't get it. But I promise you, the word around the league, the word around the commentator world or analyst world is that he's becoming a threat. He's gonna be somebody to reckon with, and you might want to take a look at him and watch out for him. Why do we believe this?
The only reason he would be a threat is because everybody's worrying about Hunt and Hill.
And Kelsey,
Kelsey, that's the only reason he'll be a threat, but it's still not happening.
But because they have to, because they're gonna get their ball. Pause. They're gonna.
He said balls.
They're gonna get their balls thrown to them. So they're gonna get their catches. They're gonna get their touches no matter what. Watkins don't have to get their touches for them to win. Like it does not matter how many routes he run. It doesn't matter. They can take the corner off of Sammy Watkins and put him on Tyreek Hill. They're still gonna throw the ball to Kelsey, Hunt, or Hill. I don't get it. That's what I'm calling him out a catfish. Anybody out there listening to ESPN and all these other fantasy shows talking up Sammy Watkins, take it with a grain of salt. Don't believe it. You gotta show me more. You gotta show me more. And your schedule you got coming up. I don't know, bro. I wouldn't believe it. Check out the schedule. He catfish to me. I think everybody else agree. Is not Sammy Watkins. He hasn't shown anything. I think he had one good year in Buffalo. One good year, maybe two.
Yeah, and then I think he hurt his foot or his heel or some shit, man. He hurt something. That's another issue with me that I have with him too. He can't stay healthy. Brett can't stay healthy. He got 2 back-to-back games, and it's probably it might be more points in a PPR league. It'll be more points in a PPR. I'm in a standard league, and this is what I'm looking at. He did 13.10 points in week 2 against Pittsburgh, and 13.5 points in week 3 against San Francisco. After that, bruh, nothing. It's been typical Sammy Watkins. He give you a couple of decent games, and then he decided he don't want to play ball. I'm not a big fan of his, man. I definitely wouldn't depend on him in terms of fantasy.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not. We label him as a catfish. He got the stank on him. Any other catfish players we got thinking?
Man, that's all I got, man.
Nothing for now. All right, we're going to move on. Rocking the hard place, man. Rocking the hard place. You got to decide who to start, who to play. Who do you put on the field? Who going to give you what you need? Rocking the hard place, man. I got one to start it off with. Allen Robinson or Deshaun Jackson.
Oh boy.
Now let me tell you about your boy Allen Robinson. Allen